Jennifer L. Armentrout, publishing under the pen name J. Lynn, commands a massive following in the new adult romance space. Her novels routinely dominate the genre's bestseller lists. Her breakout hit, Wait for You, starts with a familiar setup. 19-year-old Avery Morgansten is packing up her life and moving thousands of miles away to a West Virginia college to start entirely over. Avery is here to outrun her past. She is hiding a traumatic secret from a Halloween party 5 years ago, an event that completely shifted her trajectory. The book forces these two distinct concepts together. It places a heavy, trauma-based survival narrative inside the shell of a steamy, conventional college romance. This duality divides readers. Many reviews describe the book as entirely unputdownable, while others criticize it for relying on cliché drama and crude dialogue. This quadrant chart maps out exactly what we are dealing with. The x-axis measures the storytelling style, running from trope-heavy to grounded and literary. The y-axis tracks the subject matter, going from light fluff up to heavy themes. Wait for You lands squarely in the top left quadrant. It tackles heavy subject matter, but it executes that story using familiar, highly trope-driven plot devices. To evaluate if this works for you, we have to look through the lens of 3 distinct reader profiles: the NA junkie, the trope skeptic, and the character trauma-focused reader. Romance reading is deeply subjective. Determining if this book belongs on your shelf means taking an honest look at its specific flaws and strengths and matching those directly to your personal reading palette. Let's look at the male lead, Cameron Hamilton. The book introduces him as a walking new adult cliché, a self-described reformed womanizer who uses possessive pet names and arrogant posturing in his very first scenes. But the narrative subverts that initial impression. As the relationship progresses, Cam actually operates with extreme patience. He respects Avery's physical boundaries and consistently refuses to push her before she is ready. This matrix breaks down the book's core trade-offs. Looking at our first row for the male lead, your required input is accepting those early NA clichés. The outcome you get in return is a highly supportive, communicative partner. You have to endure some early, eye-rolling alpha male dialogue to earn a surprisingly healthy and non-toxic relationship dynamic later on. Avery's geographic escape from Texas gives the story psychological weight. Her desperate desire to find a blank slate accurately mirrors real-world survivor coping mechanisms. The author grounds the character by detailing Avery's daily anxiety, the lingering symptoms of her PTSD, and a deep-seated fear of social exposure that dictates her routine. However, the author takes a massive narrative risk by using the romantic interest as the primary catalyst for Avery's healing. The story leans hard into the controversial boyfriend as therapy trope. Updating our matrix for the second row, your input requires engaging with heavy PTSD themes. The outcome is a genuinely grounded portrayal of a trauma survivor. The trade-off delivers deep emotional resonance, but it requires you to accept romantic love as a functional cure for psychological trauma. If you prefer narratives centered on independent healing, this will be a major sticking point. Running beneath the romance is a highly dramatized suspense subplot. Avery receives threatening emails from an unknown stalker, while her villainous parents actively try to silence her. The author uses this external thriller element as a pacing engine. It forces a sense of urgency onto the college setting and keeps the plot moving at a breakneck speed. The negative consequence is that the conflict feels entirely contrived. The subplot lacks nuance and distracts heavily from Avery's genuine internal psychological journey. Adding a third row to our matrix, your input requires suspending your disbelief for melodrama, and in return, you get that unputdownable pacing reviewers rave about. You are sacrificing literary depth and realism in exchange for an addictive, highly readable speed. For readers looking at the larger series, there is a companion novella called Trust in Me. It retells the exact same chronological story you just read, but entirely from Cam's perspective. The novella adds fresh internal dialogue, a deeper look at his motivations, and a handful of previously unseen moments between the characters. Looking at the final row of our matrix, your input is rereading an identical timeline, which results in a fully fleshed-out male perspective. This double time investment delivers a much richer experience for franchise superfans, but casual readers will likely find it entirely redundant. Ultimately, Wait for You succeeds because of its intense romantic chemistry and high-speed pacing, even while it navigates a foundation of flawed genre tropes. This decision tree flowchart breaks down your reading choice. Node 1 serves as the first filter. Are you comfortable reading heavy themes involving assault and PTSD? If not, stop here and skip a book. If yes, you move to the second filter. Are you willing to tolerate cliché side characters and melodramatic subplots for the sake of a fast-paced romance? If you say yes to both, you match the NA junkie profile. This book is an immediate buy for you. The emotional highs easily outweigh the dramatic tropes. If you are drawn in by the trauma recovery but dislike melodrama, you match the character trauma focus profile. Proceed with caution. You will get a sweet internal journey that it comes permanently attached to a cheesy thriller subplot. Finally, if you answered no to the second node, you are the trope skeptic. Hard skip. The flat secondary characters and crude dialogue will irritate you long before the romance can win you over. Wait for You doesn't fail or succeed objectively. It serves a highly specific literary palette. Knowing exactly what you are willing to trade for a good story remains the single best tool for protecting your free time.